Hey guys, welcome to Digit.in, and we finally get our hands on Samsung's flagship smartphones, the S20, the S20 Plus and the S20 Ultra. The most coveted smartphone for now because it offers a 100x space zoom feature, which is enabled thanks to this crazy 5x optical zoom that Samsung has developed. We're going to take a look at all of the amazing camera features that are a part of this year's S20 series in this video, and of course bring you a more in-depth look and an in-depth review of these features in the next few days. So stay tuned to our channel and subscribe to it and hit the bell icon so that you do not miss out on our coverage of the S20 series. This is the wide angle lens of the S20 Ultra, currently looking at a demo setup, and the area of interest over here is that globe. So there are two ways to basically zoom in. One is, of course, you can do the whole pinch and zoom thing if you wanted, but a more elegant way would be to basically use these zoom levels that Samsung has built into the UI. So you've got a 1x, that's now moved you to the regular lens. Now you have a 2x zoom, all right. Then you've got 4x, 10x. Now this is the hybrid 10x. Then you move on to 30x, and then finally 100x, of course. Now in the viewfinder everything looks blurry, but once you take a photo, Samsung's algos are applied, AI kicks in and is supposed to produce a better looking image. Now unfortunately the light over here is a little on the lower side, so the result is not that impressive, but at 30x however, what we do get is something very impressive. For example, here, this image is actually pretty sharp, easy to read, and definitely if you were to post this on social media, it would be considered a good quality image. So that's pretty awesome. And all of this is done through a set of 3 lenses, the ultra wide, normal, and the 5x telephoto periscope style lens, which has, by the way, an aperture of f3.5. Has a pretty small aperture to begin with, so the usability of this lens may be limited, especially when you're not shooting in bright daylight. So in terms of actually how the camera will perform is something we're going to look at in our in-depth review, but for now that's just a quick look at the S20 Ultra's camera feature. In my hands, I have the S20 Plus, one of the three smartphones that Samsung is showing us today, and we're going to quickly look at some of the really cool features that are a part of the S20 series in general. So one, you've got single take, which is actually essentially a way for you to save time on shooting images. Now all you have to do is choose this mode and then press the shutter button, and when you do that, what's going to happen is the AI is going to decide on what lens to use, what frames to capture, what to do, and what you end up with actually is a number of things. You end up with up to 4 videos and up to 10 photos. In this case, the AI will tell you that, okay, this was the best photo. It will create a few clips. The photo mode, of course, here you have a 64 megapixel primary camera, you've got an ultra wide lens, and you've got a 3x optical telephoto lens, which goes all the way up to 30x, in case you are wondering. So you've got 20, 10, 4, 2x, there we go, 2x, 1x, 0.5x. In my opinion, this little interface at the bottom is far more usable than pinch to zoom, because what happens when you've zoomed in a lot? Okay, now follow this. If you've zoomed in a lot, now anytime you move your thumb to sort of tap to focus, your frame is going to move. That's what happens when you've zoomed in a lot. Therefore, for Samsung to give this, I just choose 30x, and now I can easily tap to focus, or I can just zoom out if I wanted to. So it does free up one hand for other things, which could be used to essentially stabilize the camera if need be, or just choosing the area of focus. So that's pretty important. Video is another really important aspect of the S20 series. Besides the frame rates and the resolution, you also get super steady shot in here. and the frame rates that you get, the resolution you have is up to 8K. Now this is not interpolated 8K, this is native 8K. That means it is actually using the entire horizontal width of the sensor to capture this footage, and you get up to 24 frames per second is the frame rate. And of course, you also still get image stabilization when you're shooting 8K. So that is very, very critical. What's also really cool is that when you're shooting in 8K, you can take snapshots, video snapshots, and they'll be high res, and you can just essentially pull out those frames from your video later, even if you wanted to. And then of course you also have the usual slurry of modes like a pro mode, food mode, night mode, etc. Now the night mode on the S20 Plus is actually greatly improved, so we're going to quickly show you a demo of that in this little black box where it's very difficult to even see what's inside, so you can go ahead and see the video and make sense of it for yourself. Now the night mode on the S20 series is available on the ultra wide and the regular lens, not on the telephoto. Now what you're going to see are a few samples from the S20 Plus's camera, and they're by no means an exhaustive set of review images, but this is a quick look at what we could expect from a session of shooting with this phone for, let's say, about half an hour. Now, couple of things to note is that the phone offers 3 lenses from the ultra wide all the way up to telephoto, and the zoom range goes all the way up to 30x. Now 30x is a hybrid variant of the zoom, and it is not optical by any means. The optical zoom on this is actually just 2x, so which is still 52 millimeters, and everything beyond that is hybrid and digitally enhanced. So moving past that, if we just look at the results from the primary lens, which is actually shooting at 64 megapixels. So if you're shooting in the 64 mode, of course, you have slightly lower dynamic range when compared to the 12 megapixel output, but they're still both very impressive. There is very little shutter lag to go with, but what I did notice when shooting in 64 is that the focus range is limited. When you switch back to 12 megapixel resolution, you're also able to force pretty close to the subjects. Now moving past that, the ultra wide angle lens still continues to not have any autofocus capabilities, which is a bummer because it limits the way you can frame your subject. And of course with telephoto, here is a quick look at the entire focal range that you can expect to be able to shoot at, starting from wide and then going all the way up to 30x in convenient steps. So you have 0.6x, 1x, 2x, 4x, 10x, 30x, so all of that. What is also nice is that in order to zoom, you don't have to rely only on pinch to zoom. Samsung has built some convenient zoom steps into the camera interface, so you just tap on the number and it takes you there, so which frees up your other hand for in case you want to tap to focus, or if you want to just simply balance the phone. So yeah, that's a quick look at the S20 series camera features, and we're pretty excited to be testing them out in the next few days, and we'll have a thorough review for you very soon. So thank you guys for watching this video, and stay tuned for our updates.